Okay, guys, what happens when a shrimp boat has mechanical difficulties and has to get in? Well, they usually call on each other and they usually respond. It's pretty neat how these guys come together to look out after one another. But the Little Lloyd, Captain Marcus, developed some steering issues while shrimping, and he had to come back in to get this fixed. Now, the really neat thing about this process to me is how they got just on the other side of the bridge. They were steering the boat using the stabilizers on the outriggers. The stabilizers are those little airplane looking things that help to keep the boat from rolling as much when they are deployed, but they do have quite a bit of resistance in the water, and that can pull the boat to one side when they're deployed. So they would raise them and then lower them when they needed to turn in a direction and then pick them back up. But I thought you guys might enjoy watching the process of the Dora F II, Captain Jonathan, Captain Johnny Bennett, and Mason was on board as well, assisting the Little Lloyd in getting back to the dock, and the process that took place here. I thought it was pretty neat, and I thought you guys might enjoy it. Now, luckily for the Little Lloyd, the control systems for the winch were not affected, so they were able to get the nets back onto the boat. And the process by which they do that, I wanted to show you guys. This is all done with a winch and a pulley system and some good timing by the guys on the deck. And this is the process that they have to go through when they're putting the nets on the boat, and also when they're deploying the nets and putting them out and getting them ready to catch shrimp. You can see how the process kind of works here on the Little Lloyd. So I don't know if this is the Dora F II today or Bennett towing, but we're going to come in here and see Captain Jonathan and Mason there by the rail. They want to give us a quick wave. Captain Johnny is on the wheel as they start to pull the Little Lloyd over towards the dock. Now, they were doing this just to keep the boat off the marsh, just kind of keep it under control a little bit so the wind wouldn't push them over onto that mud bank in the marsh, while they continued to get the nets worked up onto board the Little Lloyd. then with that, we'll see the last set of doors come aboard the Little Lloyd, and they'll have that process completed of getting the fishing gear back on board the boat. And after that, the next thing they have to do is get those outriggers up and get their dock lines ready to come in and tie up. The process is kind of slow. You're dealing with tremendous amounts of weight handling this fishing gear, so it's best to be slow and be safe. These guys get it done every day. And then, you never know when you see a tugboat. But here's a Diane Moran passing by. And it's kind of funny to see a tugboat come by and watch this towing operation taking place. Now, the Little Lloyd still had propulsion. It's just they had no way to steer the boat. So that was an assist here for the team as they were coming into the dock. And we're going to see Captain Johnny drop back alongside the Little Lloyd, get on the hip, if you will, and they're going to maneuver the Little Lloyd right alongside the dock where they can get tied up and then make their repairs. I got to tell you, it is pretty awesome to see how this group of guys look out after each other and are willing to step up and help them when they have to have it to get through these situations. And they do occur. They happen sometimes. I thought it was pretty neat that we caught this for you guys with the drone and were able to share it with you. And how about an attaboy for Captain Jonathan, Captain Johnny, and of course Mason on board the Dora F II. And with that, everyone is back safely at the dock, and repairs will begin. And that reminds me, hey, always like to say, you guys be safe out there. And thanks for watching. And if you haven't done it, think about subscribing to the channel if you're here watching for the first time. Thanks, and you guys take care.